where we share real, raw betrayals, anonymous betrayals, confession stories, and we've had lots and messages from our last life. So today, without taking much of our time, because last time we were unable to read most of these stories, um, but today I won't want it to be like that. I want us to have lots of those stories read out to us while we send in our opinion, our advice, and how some smooth and healing words to this anonymous sender. So, without further ado, I'll go right into it. I'm going to be using my other phone to be reading out all the messages that we got this last few days, guys. These are true stories, and some are very touching. In fact, not some, all are very touching, true and raw betrayal confession stories from women all around the globe. So once again, I welcome you all. Let's get right into it. Now, the first message that I told you we won't be measuring name here, so I was just reading out from where the message starts. So the first one said, I never imagined I would become the kind of person who checked their partner's phone. To me, that was always the ultimate sign that trust was gone. Of course, we all know that. If you're going to do that, you're already lost. Exactly. But that night, something inside me shifted. We were sitting on the couch, eating leftover pizza and watching a show neither of us was really paying attention to. Now, his phone his phone was on the coffee table. Every few minutes it would buzz, and every single time he snatched up, glanced at the screen, smiled faintly. I'm sorry guys, I will be my eye will be on the screen more than on you, so I believe you're going to understand. Now, every single time he snatched it up, glanced at the screen, smiled faintly, then turned face down before facing it back. He never used to do that ever before. He would hand me his phone without thinking if I asked to check time or play music. But that night his phone was suddenly something private and off limits. Now, at first I told myself I was being paranoid. We are together for years. He loved me. We had a routine of life together. But the thing about suspicion is once it creeps in, it grows. Yes, it grows in silence, in small momentum you can't unseen. Now, the next few days, little things started to stand out. He began taking his phone with him everywhere. That's what they always do. Even to the bathroom. When he goes, it takes it away from me. His message now had a lock screen. Exactly. Lock screen preview that only showed new message instead of actual text. Now, I tried to push it out of my mind. I kept reminding myself, we are over you are overthinking. We just tired. I'm just tired. You are stressed. But deep down, I knew it was wrong. One night, we went to bed late. He was on his side, scrolling. I turned over, pretending to sleep. Now, I heard him cuddle softly, not the usual cuddle he had with me, but softer, more tender one, like the kind you save for someone you are trying to impress. The next morning, I casually asked, who were you talking to last night? He froze for a fraction of a second before saying, oh, just a friend from work. Another red flag. Red flag. We were talking about projects. Something about the way he said it, like he rehearsed it. Now, week later, and the changes kept piling up. He started working late, more often. His phone was glued to him. Then when I walked into the room, he locked it quickly. That's what they do. Then the gut was screaming at me, but my heart was begging me to ignore it. Never ignore red flag. Now, it happened. One Saturday night, we were watching a movie. He dozed off on the couch, phone in his hand, his breathing slowed, his grip loosened, and the phone slipped onto the cushion. The screen lit up and it was unlocked. My heart was pounding so loudly I could hear it in my ears. My hands were trembling, and as I picked up, I stared for what felt like forever. I thought if I look and find something, and find nothing. Sorry, I'll feel ashamed of not trusting him. But if I look and find something, I opened his messages. The first few trend were normal, family, friends, group chats. Then I saw the name I didn't recognize, followed by a heart emoji. When I opened it, my heart dropped. The chat went back months. At first, it was small talk, work, weekend plans. Then the tone changed. Flirty comments. Here comes. Late nights, confession. I miss you text. And then pictures. The kind that make your hand go cold. I kept scrolling, reading messages about last time. The next time, inside joke that I wasn't part of. Nicknames he never called me. Can you imagine? I felt frozen. My heart was still, but my mind was screaming. I didn't wake him. I put the phone down, stood up quietly, and went into the bedroom. I lay there in the dark, staring at the ceiling, feeling everything and nothing at once. Wow. In the morning, I didn't bring it up right away. I watched him make coffee, humming softly, acting like nothing was wrong. I studied his face, wondering how many lies he had told me. Later that evening, I asked casually, who is the name? No, we said we are not mentioning name on this uh, platform. His reaction told me everything before his words even started. The stuttered, the stammering, the defensive laugh, and finally the lie. She's just a friend. You are overreacting. That's their lines. But the thing is, once you have seen the truth, hmm, you can't unseen it. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I simply said, I know what you have been doing, and I'm done. I walked out that night. I didn't pack anything. I didn't need to. I just needed to take myself away from someone who could look me in the eyes every day while giving his heart and his body to someone else. Now, it's been months now, and while the betrayal still stink, I've learned something. It is better to be alone with the truth than together with a lie. Wow, this is, you see, so there are red flags you can't just ignore in a relationship. I'm not a fan of don't check phone. I'm not a fan from don't check phone. If my body is it can be open to you, then nothing about you should be private to me. Nothing about you should be private. So like I said we are not going to be wasting time today. I'm going to be reading them as they are coming. Now the next one, now I never thought I'd be that person, the one who go through their partner phone. This is another phone issue message. Now this one, the one who snoop, and the one who can't trust. But that night, something in my guts couldn't let me sleep. It was past midnight. If he is falling asleep on the couch, the TV is still playing some late night talk shows and likes. His phone was in his pocket, unlocked. Is in his hand, sorry, unlocked. The universe itself has just handed me a choice. We always go about checking phones, guys, but I didn't pick up immediately. I sat there watching him breathe, telling myself to let it go, but my mind couldn't stop whispering, what if? Yeah, what if the way he'd been acting lately wasn't stress? What if, well, sorry, I think my service, please, my service, please. Now, my hands felt heavy as I reached for one tap, and I was staring at his messages. Wow. At first, it normal. family group chats, work and conversation, random memes and friends. And then I saw her, a name I didn't recognize, no emoji, no nickname, just a name. I almost put the phone down, but something told me check it. Now the trend wasn't long, but it didn't have to be. The messages the message I opened wasn't even a full sentence. Just last night was perfect. Same time next week. My stomach dropped. My thumb kept scrolling. You look so good in that dress. You always know how to make me feel special. Those are the messages. And then a photo, smiling, sitting in what looked like his car, wearing his hoodie. I stared at that image so long, my eyes started to blur. The sound of the TV faded. The sound of him breathing faded. All I could hear was my own heartbeat pounding in my ears. I didn't even notice him. I didn't even notice him wake up. Babe, what are you doing? His voice was groggy, confused, maybe even a little nervous. I didn't answer. I just turned the phone towards him. He sat up, rubbed his eyes and smiled. Yes, he smiled. Oh, she's just a friend, you're overreacting. The world lit a fire in me. I asked him why a friend was wearing his clothes and why was talking about last night being perfect. Why there was a string of heart emoji between them. Guys, are you listening? He struggled. She had a bad day. I took her out for dinner. It's not what you think, kind of a thing. Then not what you think, because I think my partner has been seeing someone else. I think those late nights wearing work. I also think I've been sleeping next to a stranger for weeks. Now he kept talking, trying to explain. I stopped listening. My mind was already somewhere else. Remember all the times I ignored the sign. Guys, I always tell you, don't you ever ignore the sign. Raphael, you're welcome and see you. Welcome, guys. Welcome, guys. I'm sorry. I will not be able to be looking at the screen and reading at the same time, but I see you all. Thank you for joining. Now, my mind already somewhere else. Remember all the time I ignored the signs and the time I told myself to trust him. All the times I felt like not in my stomach but push it away. That night I didn't scream, I didn't cry. I just sat there, phone in my hand, staring at those messages because sometimes the silence says everything. Sometimes the silence says everything. Sometimes it's not all the time you argue with them. Once you find out the truth, for your peace of mind and mental health, you can just move away from anything that might stress you. You move away from stress. You don't, no shouting, no screaming, no crying, no explanation. You've already seen the evidence, so there's no need arguing, because they will always lie. They always want to lie, use a lie to cover a lie. So that's what. Then quickly moving to the next one here. Now, if I were asked me a year ago what my favorite day of the week was, I would have said it's Friday. Now, Friday were our night. No matter how busy life got, we always made time for dinner together, just the two of us. Now, it was our little ritual. We choose a different restaurant each week, dress up a bit, and talk about everything from work, stress to silly things we've seen online. It was one time I felt we were truly in sync. Now, but now I couldn't even think about Friday without feeling sick. Wow. It started like any other Friday. He suggested a cozy Italian place in the city that we've never tried before. He seemed a little distracted when getting ready, but I brushed it off. Work has been hectic for him lately. Now, we got to the restaurant, ordered drinks, and started flipping through the menu. It was unusually quiet, tapping his phone under the table. Another red flag. I tried to know something. They will put the phone on the lap, some on the table, face down, and the rest. All these are signs. Some will just flip the phone over so that you won't see the screen. All these are red flags that you need to, immediately decode. Now, I couldn't even think about Friday with, okay, sorry, I've gone back there. Now, we got to the restaurant, ordered food. Now, sorry, it was unusually quiet, tapping his phone under the table. I tried to make small talk, but it was like pulling teeth. Then I noticed something. Every time his phone boots, his whole face softened. Hmm? His lip curved into a smile that wasn't meant for me. At first, I thought to myself, I thought I was imagining it. But then the server brought out appetizer. I caught a glimpse of his phone screen. It was a text from someone saved under a single letter, just X. The message said, I miss you. Guys, I'm sorry I might not be able to look at the screen and but I see you guys. Welcome, welcome. As I join the live, I see you and I greet you. Thank you for joining the live, but I need to read my screen needs to I need to face this. It was a text from someone saved under a single text, just X. The message says, I miss you already. My stomach dropped, my hands went cold. The rest of the room faded away. Wow, I didn't even remember we ordered. I didn't even remember what we ordered after that. I didn't confronted him. I didn't confront him right there. Yes, that's nice. Not to cause sin. I wish I could say it was because I wanted to be calm and rational. But the truth is, I froze. I sat there the whole dinner, pretending to laugh, to eat, pretend, pretending to listen. Why every word from him felt like it was echoing in my ear against that one text message. The ride home was silence. He thought I was tired. I was, but not in the way he assumed. When we got home, he went straight to take a shower. His phone was on the nightstand. My hands moved before my brain could stop them. The messages with X told me everything I needed to know. They've been meeting up during his late night walk. He told her things he had told me in years. He sent her pictures of places we've been together. But now he was there with her. The worst part wasn't even the cheating. It was how happy he sounded in those messages. Happier than I've seen him in a long time. So there are so many red flags that don't need to be overlooked. When he came out of the bedroom, towards around his shoulder, I was sitting on the edge of the bed with his phone in my lap. Now, when he came out of the sorry, he froze. Now that's after seeing the phone on her lap. He stared at it, we stared at each other for a long time before I said, "Do you love her?" He didn't answer right away, and in that pause, I knew the truth. We didn't have a screaming match. There were no broken plates, no dramatic exits that night. Instead, I packed a small bag, walked out, and called a cab. Because sometimes living quietly is the loudest thing you can do. Living quietly is the loudest. No screaming, no shouting, no explanation, no further explanation because they are always going to use a lie to cover a lie. But for your own peace of mind, quietly living is even the loudest thing you can do. Now, they say you should trust your guts. Yes, I think what they mean is pay attention to the tiny moments, the way someone smiles shifts, the way their eyes light up for someone else. Those moments will tell you everything, even before the words do. Those are little signs that will tell you where you stand. Those little signs will tell you everything, even before words will tell you what is going on in your relationship. Now, on to the next one before our time runs out. I never cared much for grand gesture. I wasn't the type who needed surprise trip or diamond necklace. All I ever wanted was to feel remembered. Now, for years, our anniversary was one day we both treated like something scared. No matter how busy, no matter where we are, we find a way to make it ours. Now, we didn't just celebrate the date, we celebrated us. This year was different, or maybe I was different. In the morning of our anniversary, I woke up to an empty bed. No notes, no coffee brain, no happy anniversary waiting on the kitchen counter. At first, I thought maybe he had something planned. He's done that before. Acted like he forgot, only to surprise me later. So I tried to be patient. Now, the hours passed. I went to work. No message. I came home. Still nothing. By 7 p.m., I was sitting on the couch with my phone in my hand, staring at the blank screen, waiting for it to light up. It never did. Now, finally, I decided to call him. He picked up on the third ring. Can you imagine on your anniversary? This is 7 p.m. Now, he picked up on the third ring, his voice loud and cheerful. The kind of voice he used when he was surrounded by people. Hey, what's up? He said. I told him where I was. He told me he was just out with some friends from work. I asked if he knew what day it was. There was a pause, a long one. Then he laughed. That awkward, guilty laugh people make when they've been caught. Oh right, wow, I totally forgot. He totally forgot, not because he was overwhelmed with work, not because he was dealing with some crisis. He forgot because he was busy. He was too busy at a bar with someone who wasn't me. I didn't know it was at the time. I didn't know. I didn't know it at the time. But one of his friends from work was a woman I've never met. The same woman he has been having late night planning session with. A week later, I found the messages, the pictures, the hotel receipts. It wasn't just my anniversary he forgot. I it was our vows, our history, our everything. The thing about anniversary is they are not about the dates. They're about the choices, the choice, the choice to keep showing up year after year. And the night he forgot, he made his choice. Now, I didn't cry when I left because you don't mourn someone who is already been gone for a long time. Don't mourn because they're already gone for a long, long, long time. Some betrayals are loud and obvious, others are quiet, like an empty bed on the morning of your anniversary, but all the same. But all the same. Now, guys, I need it to be like we need comments to smoothen the heart of these people, these lovely sisters that sent in these messages. If this go, just look for words. If this should be my sister, my cousin, what are the words I think they will want to hear right now? What are those healing words? Those words that can give them strength. Please, I need you to put some in the comment section. Let them feel loved, let them feel strong, and know that they are not alone. This is a stage they are they can come out from stronger than they think. Now quickly we'll go to the next inbox message. I used to believe that if you love someone enough, you just know when something was wrong, of course. Like some invisible trend between you would tighten, warning you that they were slipping away. But the truth is, you can sleep next to someone for years and still not see it coming. Of course. One Friday evening, he told me he had a business dinner. He mentioned it earlier in the week, said it was important that the client had high profile and he couldn't afford to be late. Okay? I didn't think much of it. I even helped him pack out his shirt. A pale blue one, the one I always said bought out his eyes. At 8 p.m. Now I just I texted him just to see how it was going. No reply. At 9 p.m. I called. It went straight to voicemail. By 10 p.m., can you imagine? I was convinced myself that maybe the dinner had run long. Maybe his phone died. Maybe I was overthinking. Now, the next morning, like previous days, no contact, no nothing, no hey babe, I'm there, and that. Now, the next morning, I woke up before him. His phone was on the nightstand, screen lighting up with a new message. It was a photo, a table set for two, candles, wine glasses, a chocolate dessert between them, and across him, a woman hand resting gently near his. The caption read, "Last night was perfect. Can't wait to see you again." It was a client. It wasn't a client. It wasn't business. It wasn't even the first time. Now, when I confronted him, he didn't deny it. Wow. He didn't even try to lie. He just sat there, eyes down, as if the truth had been waiting between us for months. We both just been too afraid to pick up. This one is a champion. Yeah. These ones are they are already on the the high level. Now, what hurt most wasn't the cheating itself. It was realizing I helped him get dressed for another woman. That is totally insane. I buttoned his shirt, straightened his collar, smoothed out the scratches like some unknowingly assistant in my own heartbreak. You know, you help your partner to give you an heartbreak, like you dress him up to go cheat on you. Now, they said inside is 2020. Looking back, I can see all the little signs, the late nights, the sudden client meetings, the way he smiled at his phone when he thought I wasn't looking. But in real life, the signs don't flash in new. They hid in a place site dressed as normal days. So the signs will be there. You will be seeing it, except you just want to look away. Now, that dinner wasn't for me. But walking away, that was all for me. I always said it. Walking away gently, walking away without screaming is your loudest. You don't need to just move away gently, because they are always going to lie. Don't ask for explanation. No explanation. Just move away for your own mental health. No screaming, no smashing of items at home, no breaking of things. Just move away gently. I think that is the best thing you can do for yourself, and look for a way to heal. Look for your people around you to talk to and heal and move on. Now we'll quickly move to the next one. Now, that morning felt like another, rushed, noisy, and half awake. He was running late, wondering something about an early meeting while I was trying to get the coffee machine to cooperate. It wasn't until I heard the door slam that I noticed his phone on the nightstand. The bright screen lights up for a second, then faded away again. It was strange. He was the type who would rather be late to work than leave his phone behind. Wow. That thing was practically glued to his hand, even at dinner, even in bed. All these are signs you don't just overlook. You don't over they would, when their phone is on table, they always want to turn it upside down. Their phone is always glued to their hand. So these are little signs you don't overlook there. At first, I told myself I'll just take it to him at lunch. But while I was making the bed, it builds again, then again and again. I ignored it for a few minutes until the fifth buzz made me look. The messages were short, flighty, but the name on the screen stopped me in my track. It said Leo work. Leo work. My first thought was maybe it's just a friend from the office, but then I saw one message that made my stomach not. Still can't get over last night. You feel like home. I froze. I told myself it's not what it looks like. Don't overthink. But I tapped the message anyway. The message went down weeks. Photos, late night, can't sleep text message, the voice notes that I couldn't even bring myself to listen to. The Leo I thought was a man wasn't a man at all. And there was worrying about spreading shit on meeting. There was one picture of her wearing his t-shirt, the same t-shirt he wore to bed the night before last. Another of them together in a mirror, his hand around his waist, the smile on his face I hadn't seen in months. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped the phone. The room felt smaller, the hair heavier. I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the floor for what felt like an hour. By lunchtime, I made up my mind. I'd walk into his office, hand him his phone, and wash his face. No accusation, no sin. That's my girl. When I stepped into his office, he looked surprised but smiled. I put the phone on his desk and simply said, "You left this at home." For a moment, his eye flicked, a quick flash of panic before he forced another smile. He knew, I knew that that was enough. So he already knew. That night, I packed my bags, no yelling, no crying. I just left. Because sometimes the loudest goodbye is the one you don't say out loud. Yeah, your loudest goodbye is just the one you don't say out loud. You live without no drama. No drama, no smashing of things, no explanation. That is your power. When you start going about doing you are giving them more power over you. So that is your loudest goodbye. Just gently walking away from anything that will stress you, your mental health. Anything that will stress your mental health, you walk away from it. No, so on this note, we are quickly going to go to the last one, last for today. Last for today says, I was cleaning out the kitchen drawer, the one where all the random things goes. When I found out, a crumbled little slip of paper tucked between an old birthday card and a packet of batteries. At first, I almost threw it without looking, but something made me unfold it. It was a receipt from a jewelry store. The date caught my eye immediately. Last month. The total, enough to make my stomach flip. Wow. The description says engagement ring, custom setting. Now here is the thing. I already had a ring. I've had it for years. So who was this for? I stood there for a moment, just staring at the paper, my mind running faster than my heartbeat. Maybe it was a surprise upgrade for me, but then why is this shoved into a random drawer instead of hidden carefully? That evening, I decided to test the waters. We were having dinner, and I casually brought up a co-worker who just got engaged. He smiled, nodded, and went back to eating. No flicker of guilt, no sign that he had something to tell me. Now, later that night, while he was in the shower, I checked his jacket pocket. Not because I wanted to, but because I had to. There, where I found the small black box, I opened it slowly. Inside was a stunning diamond ring, bigger than mine, newer, shiner. It was beautiful, but it wasn't mine. And when I saw the note under the lid, it read, "Can't wait to start forever with you." But the name written after that wasn't mine. I closed the box, placed it exactly where I found it, and went back to bed. I didn't confront him that night. I didn't cry. I just stared at the ceiling, listening to him breathe beside me, wondering how long I've been sharing a life with a stranger. The next morning, I left for work early. But instead of going to the office, I went back to the bank. I went to the bank. Some some things you don't give people the chance to explain. I've been saying this and I'll continue saying this. This is a campaign I always be saying. You don't give them the chance to explain, girl. They are all just gonna lie. It's all going to be a lie, a bigger lie, or a smaller lie to even cover a bigger lie. You don't give people the chance to explain, not in this case. The evidence are there, babe. It's glaring because the explanation will never make. The explanation will never make, guys. So to that, we've come to the end of today's episode. I say thank you to everyone that joined and have this spend this little time with me. I really appreciate you guys for joining. I I'll see you all in our next one. Before then, stay strong. I see you. You are not alone. You can come out of this even stronger than you think. I love you guys. See you. Bye bye. Yeah, okay. Are you sure? Yeah.